Spinning.
Now it's gonna do the.
It might take a second for the notification.
Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. Hello, everyone. Yes.
Yes, we're good.
And welcome and happy Sunday. This is a very, very special Sunday. And you guys know we've been talking about this for so long and waiting for this for so long. We are today joined by three of the biggest cat experts and really like our hearts and soul peoples. And so let's start with.
I know.
Let's talk about what we're doing, right?
I just got so excited. I think I got nervous.
I know I did too because everybody's jumping on.
I know.
At the same time.
Okay. Oh yay! We got a bunch of people jumping on. Okay, so I thought we would start again today. Dr. Lambert, I don't think anyone on our audience has actually met you yet.
Everybody knows.
Love you. Yeah.
Everybody knows what Desi and Rue is, but they don't know the mind behind it here on our page.
That's right. So I thought we'd start with a little intro. And we'll do Dr. Lambert, Dr. Marcy Koski, and then Pam. Oh, Pam and your sweet baby.
I just want to say hi to everybody. What a wonderful day it is to talk about cats. My favorite subject. I know everybody here's favorite subject. I'm sure your favorite subject as well. I'm a feline veterinarian. I started working on cats over 30 years ago. It was a little gray and white fluff that adopted me that spoke to me in a way that only cats can speak to you, and I ended up devoting my whole life to the species. So I've been a veterinarian for 30 years, and I started a company, Desi and Rue. If anybody is interested in cat toys, I now design and manufacture and make toys. Sort of gone from the exam room to the playroom, and from a veterinarian to a toy maker. So I am a play specialist, and I feel like play solves everything. Having fun, playing with toys is the answer to every problem. And so that's why I stepped out of the exam room, and now it's all about fun.
I love that so much. I like so much. And the subject for today, talking about holiday stress in our cats specifically, this is, you're just like a perfect fit for for this.
It feels like Christmas, so you're like a little Christmas elf for kitties.
I know.
You're like a little
like a toy maker. I was picturing like.
Well, you know, I joke about it, but so much of my career was about life and death, and every day was really very stressful, and you know, I had a heavy responsibility on me, and now it's all about fun, and it's a blast.
And it's important too, which is
Super
exciting.
It's ultra important. It's everything. You know, in my career, I saw where cats used to be outdoor animals, and then they kind of came in and out, and now they're enclosed in four walls, and their lifestyle has changed dramatically. They now depend on us to entertain them, and us to give them exercise, and us to keep them engaged, because they're not going outside, and so it's super important.
Yay.
Thanks for having me today.
Thank you so much for being here. We're excited. Dr. Marcy Koski. I know you've already been on our page a couple times, but I feel like there's lots of people joining from all over. So if you would give a little intro on why you're so amazingly fabulous as well.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction. I am very happy to be here again. You know, I love you guys so much. I am a feline cat behavior consultant, and I have my own business, Feline Behavior Solutions. And I love what Dr. Bear just said, because play is where it's at. And if there is one thing you can do for your cats to increase their quality of life, keep them healthy, both in mind, spirit, and body, it is play. And understanding the needs of your cat as carnivorous, predatory beasties that we've invited to live in our house. I mean, if you can just acknowledge the fact that your cat is a predator, that will go a long way. And then once you start thinking about your cat as a predator, you can understand what toys they might like and how to play with them. And that is going to really, truly give your cats a wonderful quality of life. So I just love everything that Dr. Bear just said, because I talk to all my clients about play. It is the thing.
Yay.
Yay.
She's
I
like,
know.
she stopped now. She's just like,
My favorite.
what'd you say, Marcy?
Keep talking. Just keep talking. I know everyone that's probably watching right now already knows that I'm obsessed with Dr. Marcy Koski, but you really were one of the very first cat experts that we ran into as the Two Crazy Cat Ladies, and you were a game changer for us. Your advice and the way that you speak cat is just incredible, and so we absolutely adore you.
Yeah, and I love that all three of these beautiful women speak cat, and we are literally.
Yes.
I feel we were just talking last night about how like we're just in that spirit of gratitude, and like we're really feel blessed, and literally right now I just had this like overwhelming burst of gratitude for the fact that we even get to like know the three of you guys.
Last night felt like Christmas Eve for us. I mean, this is really just such a gift that you guys are all with us at the same time and giving your time to the community. So
Pam,
thank you. Pam, all of this is your fault. Why don't you give your brainchild, why don't you give us a little intro and tell us how this came to be?
Oh my goodness, you're so sweet. I am Pam Roussel with Perfectly Holistic. I'm an animal intuitive. I'm an energy healer. I'm a holistic health cat coach, and cats are my life. They've always been my life, and it's just fun how I can blend my passion for holistic health and move that into the feline world and see amazing results, just like you do holistic health with humans. It's pretty amazing. I came up with this idea because I was thinking, let's do some more collaborative stuff, because it's so much fun, because we can feed off each other's knowledge and energy. And then, with the holidays right around the corner, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a great time to really just put our heads together and share, some insights and some knowledge and some ideas that we can do to help people get through the holidays. Because for a lot of people, these are really stressful times. I mean, there's, a lot of depression through the holidays, and our cats can pick up on those negative emotions, and in some cases this year, or well, all over the country, it's been very, very weird, needless to say. And so there might be additional anxieties or stress in our homes. If you live in a location that it doesn't have the strict lockdowns, there might be a lot more flexibility, and you may be having people to your home over the holidays. So then, our cats get thrown out of their routines. And so, it's like, okay, what do we do to minimize all of that for all of our family members? So that's kind of why I came up with the idea.
Yeah. And to add upon that, just for 2020, it's funny how, when specifically with our cats, I hear, we're in the dog community too, or we're friends with a lot of people in the dog community, and they're all like, my dog is in heaven because I'm working from home. And everybody's like, my cat is stressed out because I'm working from home. Then they get used to it. And then people start going back to work. And now the cat's stressed out because you're going back to work. So it's definitely been a weird year for us and our cats, for sure.
Yeah.
So the subject today is cat stress. And I know we talk about cat stress all the time. It's like one of our top subjects.
I do think it is probably one of the most, probably not for us anymore, overlooked and underrated issues, whether it has to do with behavioral issues or health issues that we don't necessarily consider when it comes to our kitties. Oh my God, Pam.
Well, and also because our cats are such stoic beings, right? So they mask pain, but they also mask stress. So a lot of us think that because our cat's laying around, or our cat's not peeing on the floor, or they're using the litter box fine, that they're not stressed out, and oftentimes that's not true. There's a lot of things that can stress out our cats, which is why we are always saying, I think all of us agree, that it's best to be as proactive as possible, because you don't know if your cat's stressed out, but if you take the steps to keep them less stressed, then we don't have to worry about them being stressed out and then maybe peeing on the floor, or not eating the same, or whatnot. So let's just go around the table. I feel like we're at a table because it's a round table.
Round table.
Let's go around the table and maybe address just a couple of a couple of things that that our cats get stressed out about. So like maybe 2 or 3 a piece. Like off the top of your head, Pam, we'll start with you. What are a couple things, a few things that you know with your cats or your clients' cats that cats tend to get stressed out about, or that tend to stress out cats?
Right. I had someone reach out to me just in the last week or so because somebody had a new baby, and all of a sudden the cat started acting out. And so she's talking to me and telling me about the situation and the circumstances. And I'm like, well, was this behavior going on before this new baby? She's like, nope. I'm like, that's your problem. So you have to figure out how to convince the cat that it's not a threat, that it's number one, you know. And I used a lot of Dr. Koski's recommendations with this person because, you know, you gotta look at things from their point of view. You know, so in a lot of situations when I have cats clients, I'll identify some trapped emotions. I'll do muscle testing, I'll do energy testing and energy work and energy healing stuff, and I'll be able to go in and actually release those trapped emotions, because I think that's fundamental to behavior a lot of times, and it's also a component in physical illness. You know, there's typically an emotional component to physical illness. So releasing those energetically really helps. And then, you know, addressing behavior through play, through flower essences, through some natural things. Typically flower essences and energy work tend to work well, and a lot of play and, you know, helping them manage and get out their stress through that predatory behavior that tends to go a lot. It helps a lot, and just boost their confidence so that they're not feeling left out. And even for cats who might be bullied, or if there's inter-cat aggression in the home, things like that, it still helps to identify emotional triggers and stressors on all the participants, so I can release all that energetically and then give them the tools that they need so they can all kind of learn to coexist again.
Well, I think I remember the first time that you talked about this. I'm gonna use my favorite word again. I thought it was totally woo-woo. I never considered, you know, oh, my cat has trapped emotions. So for people where this is a totally new concept, can you explain a little bit about, because you do the kinesiology, the muscle testing, and that's really been a game changer, especially for our Pooh Bear.
For our cats.
Yeah, and for Friday. I mean, a number of our cats have very acutely experienced where we didn't even know when you did it, but we could tell when it was done because it was such an incredible thing. So it is woo-woo still in my head, but explain a little bit for those of us that it's still kind of new, just how significant that is.
You know what? I'm gonna move out of the sun because it's blinding.
Yeah, the sun's getting big, brighter.
It's just that time of day. So let me reposition you to a different spot. Hang on.
Oh, there we go.
I was liking the glistening on your neck though. It was very pretty.
Too hot, man. Too hot. Okay, so sorry about this. Technical challenges.
Always keeping it real.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. And as a reminder, as you're getting set up, you guys stay with us because today is the Catastic Extravaganza giveaway.
We not talked about it yet. Oh my God, that's like the biggest thing. So yeah, so sorry for those of you guys. We still have a ton of people on. But yes, this is the biggest giveaway of 2020.
3 huge winners are going to be announced.
They will be announced at the end of this discussion. So stick with us, bring your questions. We'll also be doing a Q&A after this.
In a little bit.
But we went through all the massive amount of stuff today and like spread it out into the like 3 winners.
Oh my God, it was so exciting.
We're gonna have to go buy a box.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go get big boxes.
It's massive, guys. So
okay,
anyway,
so back to a little bit about when you're talking about trapped emotions with our cats. What is that, and why is it so important for we as cat parents to understand that that is actually a thing?
Okay, so just like people, cats experience emotional stuff. They're sentient beings. Okay, so they can experience the same range of emotions that people can have. And many people probably don't realize this, but animals can actually, or our pets can mirror our own emotions that we are going through in order to try to either get our attention, like they're trying to show us back, like, do you realize that you're doing this? So they're, that's called mirroring. So that happens a lot. And then the other thing is that they take these emotions on, because sometimes absorbing our stuff because they love us and they're trying to relieve that burden off of us. And we don't even realize, a lot of times that this goes on. And then thirdly, they get upset. They get upset about things. Their world is being, upheaval. There's, stuff going on in the house. Maybe there's some friction between family members. And it kind of disrupts their community. Maybe there's, they get a little tiff, so they start to hold grudges. I clear stuff all the time from my own cats, and usually little Aylin, who you saw, is the instigator, and she comes up as a stressor for Rocket, and definitely for Lily and Gunner, because she's kind of a bully to them sometimes. They're like, just leave us alone already. And so what happens is a lot of times it'll manifest in, a food, imprinting on a food, and then they throw up a food, and then they have a sensitivity, which it's probably not a true sensitivity, because they're really just imprinting that negative emotional experience onto the food they're eating at the time. And then, they throw it up, and, so I have to go and do some energy work to clear all that. And then a couple of days they can have it again. But those kind of issues can, if they're not dealt with, they can lead to, chronic health issues. So
Right. Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah, it's so important for us to realize. And I think as humans, we already know that, like, stress is the leading cause of disease for us.
Mhm.
And the same goes for our cats as well. So it's just hard sometimes as cat parents to think that, like, my cat's stressed out, or to think that, like, stress is going to affect them the same way that it affects me, because they don't show us that. Right. So I think it's really important. Dr. Marcy Koski, what do you see probably most in your practice as far as cats exhibiting stress, or the things that cause the stress in cats, and maybe even around the holiday season specifically? I know a lot of them are like year long, but
yeah, I think it also depends on the cat. There's a very wide range of cats and the sizes of their internal stress bucket. You know what I mean? Like, I think every cat has inside them like a stress bucket, and some cats are able to have huge stress buckets that never fill up and never overflow, and you never see behaviors resulting from stress because they're so laid back, they're chill, they're relaxed, don't care. Other times cats have very tiny stress buckets. It's almost like a stress shot glass, and it just overflows immediately, and then you get behavior issues. And then we have to remember too that as cats age, the size of that stress bucket shrinks, because older cats are less able to deal with stress. What I see as a general category that causes stress in cats is change. And change can come in so many different ways. It can come from a new person, or, like a human, like a baby or something like that in the house. It can come from another pet in the house. It can come from a change in your schedule, like we were talking about earlier with being at home because of COVID-19, and then that was a schedule change, and then now we're going to be away because we have a schedule change. It can be just the most minor change. Sometimes even just moving furniture around can stress cats out. I think for the holidays though, in terms of change, because the holidays do kind of happen just rarely, they're holidays, but we have to be sensitive. Cats' sense of smell is so important to them to maintain a familiar and, just maintaining that sense of territorial security. And especially during the holidays, we like things that are scented. So plugging in the what are they called? The oil diffusers and things that emit scent, things coming into the house, like a tree or something like that, that has a different scent on it. Visitors coming into the home that have completely foreign scents on them. All these things gather in the home and totally mess with a cat's sense of smell and familiarity in their own territory. So that can really amp up a sense of territorial insecurity with cats. So we can't forget about smell. It's not such a big deal to us, but for cats, it's super important. So I'd say just a sense of change is a big stressor, and then really being cognizant of the changes in scent that kind of happen around the holidays is a big thing we want to keep aware of.
Yeah.
So those were two things that came to my mind when you were talking about stress.
That's very interesting that the whole scent thing, because it is. I mean, we even just, got these like pet safe candles from Jen and Sam, and started, I just lit one like last night or the night before, a couple nights ago, and we were sitting outside for something, and I look inside and I see the big boys. They were and this one, they were like sniffing around on the ground, like they were right by the door and like sniffing around. And I was like, what are they smelling?
after?
What's going on in there? And then I opened the door and I smelled that, that candle scent. And I was like, oh, we lit a candle for like the first time this year. And they're not used to that smell. So, I immediately opened all the windows and started, but I didn't want to blow out the candle just yet because I love the candle. But yeah, that is a very good point as far as.
Well, I mean, and there's a safety aspect too. I mean, like a lot of people diffuse essential oils, many of which are toxic to cats. So we need to be really careful about essential oils in cats. And then we just have to remember, I mean, humans have 5 million scent receptors in their epithelial, like olfactory epithelium, that's what it's called. And cats have like 2 to 3 million or something around that. I can't remember, maybe Dr. Bear knows exactly the number, but it's a huge increase in that sensitivity. I mean, cats can smell within the range of dogs. So, just we can really inundate them. It's like, when we're stuck in an elevator with that guy that wears way too much cologne, I think that's how cats feel about a lot of things that come into their environment.
It's like it's time to get out. One, you had mentioned one of the other times that, and I think it's so important for cats that are spraying, especially when they're known for spraying new things that come into the home, like new furniture, that is not them being like, oh, I'm marking this as my own. It's their way of feeling more familiar and secure, feeling like, I don't know what this is, so I'm going to put my scent on it. Now I feel better. And it is kind of like cats do mark things as their own by putting their scent on it, but it's not necessarily like
a bad thing.
I hate this, I'm going to pee on it. I mean, cats do not revenge pee. They do not spray out of spite. They don't do those things. It's all about, what can I do to make myself feel more secure around this object? I've got it. I'll put my scent on it. And urine is the most pungent scent that they can do. So I think it kind of corresponds to their level of insecurity or security, like, oh, maybe I just need to rub up against it with my cheek and now I'm fine, or that's not quite doing it for me, I need to pee on this thing. So I think there's a range.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, Dr. Lynn Bear, what in your 30 years of practice, and then however many years now you've been working with cats in the fun world, what do you see with your cats or with your clients' cats are some of the stressors that cats go through?
I think the number one stressor is living in four walls. We have cats living in captivity now, and it's just a matter of the size of their cage. They're really caged animals. For a creature that was meant to kind of explore and be outside and do all their cat things, we've taken a lot of that away from them. And so they're living in kind of a sense of a manufactured environment. things like temperature. We keep the air conditioning on in the summer and the heat on in the winter, and that's not natural. It's totally opposite of what a cat outside would experience. They don't have any say in their environment. That's probably the second biggest stress. So the first one, which nowadays I think is a wonderful time for cat owners to really sort of realize, we've all felt it. When we were in lockdown, we were going stir crazy. We were going into depression. People were eating, baking, doing everything they could to keep entertained. The isolation was driving people crazy. I mean, the biggest threat right now is, oh my God, are we going to go in lockdown again? It was really bad for most people. And for the first time, I think we're experiencing what our cats have been experiencing. And as Marcy had said, the buckets are different. In this time of COVID, if you're an introvert, it's not a bad time. This is kind of good. And so for outgoing people who need to be social, this is really horrible. There you go. So our cats are exactly like we are in that sense. They're coping with those stresses as well. And just like a lot of people who may not be verbal and talk about it, they may not tell everybody I'm depressed or I'm, really down or anything like that. Cats might be silent about it too. And like how many people might eat out of stress, and everybody's gained that 15 pounds during COVID. Cats are doing the same thing. They're depressed. They have nothing to do. They're just bored. And so they'll eat too. So again, we might not notice the stress. We might not think our cats are stressed because they're coming up and, they're letting us pet them and they're eating and they're drinking and they're going to the bathroom. But in fact, living in four walls is a stressor.
Yeah.
And then not having control of your environment. Our cats don't get to say where the litter box is, what the size of it is, what litters use, when they eat, where they eat, what bowl they eat out of. So the lack of choice is probably the second biggest stressor. And these stressors do manifest in medical problems, and they do manifest physically as well as emotionally. Marcy stole my smell for the holiday.
Sorry.
I too think
Great minds.
important to cats. And so to talk about the stresses of the holidays in particular, smell, yes, when you light those candles and you're bringing in new stuff, cats may not like that smell. They may find it repulsive, and yet they're living in it.
Yeah.
One of the most common remedies for all of this, in my opinion, is to open the windows. Let cats have fresh air. And so when it comes to smell, that's really important. Another thing with the holidays is when we're bringing out all the ornaments and we're decorating and we're putting everything up, we don't want our cats to knock them over. We don't want our cats on it. We are shooing them away. We're stressed out putting it all out and getting it together and making sure we have everything. Instead, we should just make it time for the cats. Bring stuff out and let them play with it and let them climb the tree. And don't yell at them for getting on the table, and let them investigate the boxes. We were talking earlier, Pam, about the ribbon. Please, 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 ribbon, string. It's the most dangerous thing a cat can get into. Don't use tinsel. Watch those ribbons. Watch everything like that. Be cognizant, but have fun with your cats and enjoy the holidays with them. If you're stressed out, realize that is being projected onto your cats, and that's not what we want to do. Have fun with them, and that's it.
Well, I think all of you guys hit on a very big point that we talk about a lot, because there's actually scientific studies behind how our cats carry the stress of their humans. And the study showed that and they actually like, again, with the scents, right? But they would put the cortisol, right? The hormone that we excrete when we're stressed out. They would have different levels of humans, and even extract that smell and that scent and put it in a room with cats or a cat. And it was amazing to see how stressed out, and then measure the level of the cat's cortisol. And it was amazing to see how when the humans' cortisol levels were up, the cat's cortisol levels were up. So I really think it's like and going back to Pam, energy is a real thing. And I think, and the keeping our energy in check, keeping ourselves as calm as possible. And sometimes that means meditation, and sometimes that means exercise for us, and eating healthy, and things that, make us feel better and make us happier will really reflect upon our cats as well in the bigger scheme of things. Are you with us today?
I am.
She's just like petting the
But
cat.
Dr. Bear, I wanted to say, I love what you said about, as we take out the Christmas boxes and stuff. And I think this is something that maybe certainly was for me a couple of years ago, not necessarily considering what a certain situation was for my cats, right? It's like, oh, well, I'm sure that they just went to their favorite cabinet, or I'm sure they're fine, right? Looking at new situations, whether it is pulling out all the Christmas boxes, like you mentioned, I get excited about it now. We've got, you have the different stress buckets, and Friday and Zorro are really good examples of Zorro is like laid back. He's the one that was just laying on my lap, laid back, so chill. Oh my gosh. If something new happens, he's like, what is this? Friday is the shot glass. She's something happens, or even a cat makes another noise. Poofy tail gets all kind of ramped up about something. And I think that, as we do things like the holidays, or have people over, to already acknowledge the different personalities or stress buckets that our kitties have, so that we can help kind of gauge the adventure that we're going to be having, whether it's pulling out all the Christmas stuff and letting them at their own pace just kind of explore before we tearing them open and getting stressed out about where this goes or where that goes.
I just like to say, I never get stressed out putting up Christmas decorations. It's like my favorite thing in the world. It makes me so happy. So I'm not stressed out when I'm putting them up. And this year, especially since nobody's coming over to see them.
When we're talking about smell, one of the other elements is sound, and how stressful when you are pulling everything out. I don't know if you've noticed, like in my house, when I pull out the garbage can liner and I shake open that bag, the cats go running. And so some of the sounds as well of unpacking and putting things out and so on may be scary to the cats. And, people just pay a little bit of attention. They'll see which of their cats is getting scared and which one isn't. But be a little more cognizant of the fact that, it's like having a little baby sleeping. You'd be a little more quiet if you knew the baby was sleeping.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. We have one cat that's exactly that, scared completely of the trash bag. So if he's anywhere near now, and we've known this for a few years, but we either go in the other room, or I just like do it with my hand. I don't shake the bag. I just like put it in there and let it, like, the trash will straighten
Dr.
it out.
Koski. I felt you about to say something. Speak.
I'm like, I think one way that, because this is still, oh my God, it's midway through November. I was going to say it's still October. No, but still, it's enough time. One way that we can help our cats ease into the holiday season is to do things gradually. And I know not everybody knows about Advent calendars or whatever, but when I was little, there were Advent calendars, and I know there still are, but each day, I think it was the 25 days leading up to Christmas, you open up a little box and there's a little toy in it. And when you're considering your cats, you might want to do something just like a cat's holiday calendar, where like maybe you just bring out one box and then you put one thing up, so make that change, that decoration, that the transition from your home to a holiday home gradual, because cats do much better with gradual change than just a lot of change all at once. So
yeah, I love that advice.
you know,
So can we start today?
Sure. Sure. I wanted to explore a little bit too. Pam, we'll go back to you. We're talking about some of the things that we know are going to be stressors or that can be stressors for certain kitties or all kitties in general. And before we open up for Q&A here in a little bit, you guys have such specific passions, right? Like the Pam with energy healing and muscle testing and just that whole
Woo woo.
yeah, you're just woo woo. My fantastic woo-woo. And Dr. Koski with being a behavior consultant and really being able to look at it from help us all look at what our cats are doing or not doing from their perspective. And Dr. Lambert with the play. I love that you have this, 30 years of experience as a veterinarian, and then you're really you've invested in something that you see as a significant part of a healthy feline's life. So maybe now thinking about some of these stressors that we've talked about, what are some of the solutions? Pam, let's start with you. What are some of the things that we can do, or even services that you offer? I know we've got a giveaway coming up. Don't forget, you guys.
We have a big
for people
giveaway
to
coming
explore.
up.
I mean, some of the things that you do to help us help our kitties be less stressed, or
And
that
help
you
your
do
kitties.
that help our kitties to be less stressed.
You just said that twice.
I work with clients and do optimal cat health analysis or do checkups for current clients that I've already worked on because, new things come up. So I just would go check emotions and check, see what other stressors are resonating in their body. Sensitivities, any kind of energetic blocks. I would do energy healing work first to clear stuff energetically, and then go back and figure out, okay, well, do you need extra support? She is a love bug right now.
Yes.
She's got a captive audience. So I would, after do the clearing work, I would see, okay, do you need additional emotional support? And if so, what would that look like? Would it be something like your cat calm? Would it be a CBD if it's like a super, stressful kind of situation? Or would a flower essence be enough? Sometimes just energy clearing is all they need, which is great, because that kind of releases any kind of energetic block and they can just let things go. No, man. So most of the time that's all it takes, which is great. So that would be like my
Go-to.
recommendations first.
Well, and since you're saying that, let me go ahead and for anybody who hasn't heard about the giveaway or doesn't know exactly what all's in the giveaway, Pam just mentioned a lot of stuff that's in the giveaway. Yeah. So Pam is giving away 3 gift certificates for her website. So anything that you guys are I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the optimal health analysis or the energy cleansing and things like that. She's giving away 3 gift certificates. Plus there's going to be CBD. Plus we're giving our cat calm. There's lots of Dr. Should we just say it all right now?
I was going to say Desi and Rue toys.
Yes. Desi and Rue toys.
Dr. Mercy Koski is giving consultations.
Yes. So all of this
It's
is
so
going
exciting.
to be, these giveaways are all set up to help your cats with their stress as well. So yes, so that's awesome. Dr. Mercy Koski, what do you say about what's your some of your go-to ways to help?
well, the first way is going to be play, and I'm going to let Dr. Bear talk specifically about that, but I cannot say enough about how play is so important for cats. The other thing that I would mention is looking at the cat's space from a feline perspective. So you really want to make sure that there are places they can go where they're not going to be bothered by visitors or other people in the home, or just they want their own space. So making sure that there's plenty of vertical space if they like to climb and be up and out of reach, or give them hiding spaces where they are allowed to go and just be, hey, this is my own quiet, private time. And I like to I like to designate certain places that cats go as being like no human zones. So if I know that a cat has gone into kind of a specific place, I will not even put my hands in there. I will just peek in to see if they're there, but I want to respect that cat space. So just no human zones, vertical space and hiding areas. The other thing I would say is try to maintain a sense of schedule as best you can. So keeping a regular schedule, if that includes playtime and feedings, keep that schedule as best you can. I know it can be crazy around the holidays, but that's really important too.
Don't forget the litter box.
Yeah, scooping the litter box, same time.
Very
Yeah.
important.
I know you guys have like, hey,
We're waiting.
you guys are up.
Waiting.
Get
Yeah.
it with the scoop.
Chop,
Yep.
chop. Chop, chop.
Yeah.
Or I could just go pee over here. That's fine too.
Do what's best for you. I'll.
Right. But
Yeah.
that schedule is so important.
Yeah, routine is really, really important for our indoor kitties, especially.
Yeah.
Dr. Lynn Baer, tell us more about the play specifically. What type of play? What type of toys do you recommend? What are some things that viewers can do to really keep their cats active in play during the holiday season?
Well, I think it's even a little bit more than just play. I sort of think of indoor cats as 2-year-olds. While, it's not that that's their mentality, but we should be pet parents to a 2-year-old, meaning you have to entertain them. You have to set everything up for them. You have to keep your eyes on them, take care of them. And I truthfully, once or twice a day, say to myself, how can I make today different for my cat? And I'll look around the room. I will try to dream something up. I will grab something that's around and try to turn it into a toy. I open up a window on one end of the house, or then I'll go to another end of the house. Every day should be different. It's variety, and they really kind of need that variety. As well as recognizing the age of your cat. Kittens don't play the same as older cats play. And as they age, just like we do, we like different things. We no longer play with our little dolls and trucks. We're playing with our video games and our cell phones. And so having the appropriate tools to play with is super important. Every cat should be running, jumping, pouncing, exercising. Again, if you're in 4 walls and here we are in lockdown, we've got to maintain our physical activity as well as our mental acuity. Yeah.
So here's a question for you. What would you say, just on average, I know every cat is different, but on average for say a senior cat, a cat over 10 or 12 years old, how much would you recommend people to play with their cats that, still have a full-time job or whatever it is? How often would you recommend that they play with their cats and spend engaging with their cats on a daily basis?
Every day, at least once or twice a day. I mean, our grandparents still have fun. Like there's nobody who doesn't enjoy playing or having fun. For different people, it's a different thing. It might be reading a book, might be watching a movie, or it might be, bicycling or hiking or whatever. So the interests are different. But every day, we as human beings are supposed to have fun. We are supposed to enjoy our lives. And our cats are no different. Every day should be fun. They should be enjoying it. They should be a cat. Cats like to explore. When they go outside, and it's not like they go far, but they do like to see their environment. They do like to check everything out, make sure it's the same. So even things like opening up closets, opening up doors, shutting off the door. If you say no to a cat or you shut a door to a room, they want to know what's in it. And so, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to just, again, if you just look around and go, what am I going to do different today? You'll come up with a million different things. You'll never run out of stuff.
Yeah, I like that. And you're right. Like right now, all the amount of giveaway stuff, food, treats, toys, everything, cat beds, it's all locked away in a room, and the cats were just going crazy. Like, what's
We had to
in
put
there?
the hook on the door
Yeah.
because they can open doors.
Right.
Dr. Cossey, again, I got the feeling you were about to speak.
Oh. So, Dr. Bear, I wanted to ask you, have you seen the book Beyond Squeaky Toys? It's a Nicole,
Martin?
I can't remember the authors. It's two women who both have like compound last names, and so it's like super long. But the book is called Beyond Squeaky Toys, and it talks all about enrichment, both for dogs and cats, and it talks about the different categories of enrichment. And it just, I mean, it has a ton of ideas that are free, cheap, or easy. And what I like about this book is that it really gets you thinking differently about your animal's environment. What can I do to just give my cat something new today? Not everything has to be a hit. Did your cat sniff it? Did your cat look at it? Did your cat touch it? Great, you know, that's something.
Yeah.
Instead of just laying on the couch all day.
I love that. I love that. And in fact, I'd like to say for everybody out there that's thinking, oh, that means you have to buy your cat a new toy every day. No, in our home, in fact, we have toy boxes, several toy boxes. And whenever the toys are put away, they forget about them for the most part. Jack will sometimes go in there and dig through a little bit, but usually they forget about them. And then the toys that are out, they are playing with until they're bored of them. And then we put those away and we bring out one of those old toys. It's like a brand new thing for them. And they're so excited about it. So it's not always that it's Christmas season and you're going to be getting gifts in the mail and there's going to be lots of boxes, and those boxes can be cat toys. And so it's not always like going out and spending, your life savings on making sure that your cat has a new toy every single day or something like that. But like you just said, Dr. Koski, like something scent, like something with a scent on it, that a piece of paper. Sometimes when the kittens were little and they would come into my office and they had like 2 toys in my office and I'm busy working away, I would grab a piece of paper and wad it up and throw it on the ground, and they would play with that for,
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
One of the things like I do, I have bookcases behind me. I don't know if you can see kind of low. Well, I can't get it to go, but I move the shelves around and I move things on it around. So right now there's a bed underneath, and then there's the next shelf that has one of my magic carpets on it. And then I arrange it and I take the feather toy or the wand toy and I get them climbing up it. And so it's kind of different each time. That didn't cost me anything. It just moved some things around and opened up a shelf here. And so it's easy to just change those little things. It would be like, a regular tree outside that had a limb fall. And then it's like something new and the cat goes underneath it or smells it or goes around it. So it's little things. The other thing that I do is I keep wand toys in my closet. And so every morning when I'm getting dressed, I walk in that closet, they're there. And it reminds me to play. Every night when I come home and I'm undressing, the wand toys are right there. And, my cats know that it's not a mouse, it's not a real bird. They know we're just playing. They're waiting for it. They know every single day that when I walk in there, it's time. I guess it's kind of like a kid coming home from school knowing that they're going to get a snack, their cookies and milk. It's not that hard, and you do not have to buy new things all the time. You can look around. I took the insert of a toilet paper roll, stuffed tissue paper in it, and put silver on it. And that was the best toy for about a week. Oh my gosh, the cats just loved it. That didn't cost me anything.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think that's also right. I think that's also a good way to kind of accustom our cats to the whole change thing too, don't you think? So that when things change, they're not like scared of it because things never change in the house. But if we change something up every once in a while, little things, a shelf or a piece of furniture or something, our cats specifically, they actually love change. If I move a chair from like just the bar stool from one place to the other, they're all like jumping
What are we
on it. It's
doing?
like, oh, is this a new chair? Like they're very interested in it. But that's because we do change things quite a bit. We move things around.
So I don't think that cats mind change as much as they really like routine.
Right.
And so they thrive on routine. I don't know that it's as much that they don't like the change.
Okay, so you're saying let's not let the change upset the routine.
Correct.
I like that.
Routine is
Yes.
important. If you're moving big pieces of furniture around and it changes their pathway, then yes, that's a little bit different. But if you pull a chair and you put it in under a window, so that now the chair's in front of the window and they can climb up and see out, they don't mind that kind of change.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree.
I do think, and I don't know, Pam and Marcia, your input on this too. The whole changing things, like, what was I just thinking? Oh, Jack and Madison, our youngest ones, right there, and Dr. Bear as well. So they're our youngest ones, and they're basically our COVID kitties. We got them when we're not traveling, we're not having friends over. I'm not leaving the house every day for 9 or 10 hours a day. We're home the whole time. And so we do notice that, I think Dr. Marskowski, when you were talking about the stress buckets, like these cats have a different level of tolerance for change.
Yeah.
They are, they will freak out if the doorbell rings, or if like we had a friend over helping us do some work, it's like, what in the world? And it takes them a minute, but I don't know. I think that, what am I trying to say
I
here?
have no idea.
How old were the kittens when you got them?
They were about 7 to 8 weeks old.
Okay, so they were still pretty young.
Mhm.
And that sensitive socialization period is from between 2 and 7 weeks approximately.
Right.
And that's the time when you really need to expose kittens to changes, but pair those things with positive experiences, different types of people, different types of play, different types of objects. And so I'm wondering if they didn't necessarily get a wide range of experiences before you got them.
Oh yeah, they were found, they were dumped, or their mom ran away. They were found in like a broken down boat.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were just alone, the two of them, in like a
And
in a
very
boat
hungry.
outside the back of a casino somewhere, and they were super hungry, and that's where they were found. So I don't think they had a lot of they had exposure to outside, but I don't think they had a lot of exposure to people or any of those things at that time. So yeah, so they've been a little bit more of a challenge to get them. Madison's a whole lot better now. Jack is still like hit and miss. Sometimes he's a spaz, sometimes he's not. But yeah, it takes a lot of work. Now, not to say that if they're not socialized at that time,
Right.
there's no hope, right?
Absolutely. No.
It definitely takes, you definitely see it. And in a time of COVID where we're basically been quarantined, then it's hard to expose them to more people. And it's harder to expose them to
different things.
They got lots of exposure to cats because we had cats.
That's about it, though.
But that's about it. And us, of course, which we love because they're so in love with us. But
on a good day.
But yeah, it's a little bit of work. I did want to talk about one thing because I just recently read this study, and of course it was done on dogs because they don't do a lot of studies on cats. But it was talking about the gut-brain axis, and this is something that and how the food that we feed our pets also affects their stress levels. And it's they really have it like all broken down. I know you can't really see it here, but I think it's something that oftentimes we overlook when it comes to our cat stress, because I think we all know that cats are they really need moisture in their diet, and they're not created to eat a high amount of carbohydrates. And just the same with us. We know that if we eat a bunch of, and I'm like the worst at it right now, but I'm just like a carb addict. But when you eat too many carbs, it causes inflammation, which is nutritional stress. And that also can cause your personal stress to be a lot higher, right? Your cortisol levels go up when you're not feeling well. So exercise is a huge thing, but also the food that we give our cats, I think, has a direct correlation to their overall stress levels as well. So one thing during the holidays, I know we want to treat our cats as often as possible and things like that, but if we want to treat our cats, let's feed them. And you're going to have all of you winners have some food coming, some moisture rich food coming in your packages. But let's make sure that we're feeding them a good, balanced, moisture rich diet. And maybe even, give them extra treats of that instead of, the dry kibble is so high in carbohydrates that we're kind of doing our cats an injustice or disservice. I don't know which word, or maybe
Go
both
with
of those.
disservice.
Disservice, okay. A
So it's a
disservice.
little less judgy.
Okay. Disservice by feeding them, a high amount of carbohydrates all the time, and especially around a time where they're going to be dealing with, in some way or another, other stressors too. Pause. Let's go into Q&A.
well, let's do that. But I do want to say, I think the one thing that is so significant as you guys start dropping some questions in here, and I know we've got a lot of comments to catch up on. Dr. Bear, you said, how can I make today different for my cat?
Yes.
What an amazing question. And I think each of you really focused on, in one way or another, the significance of taking the time to pay attention to our cat's perspective and what might emotionally be bothering them, or if they have stressors in their lives, if they get into a tiff with another kitty. What are we doing that is impacting their environment? Are we moving stuff around, having people over, just looking at from their perspective? We all deal with a lot of the humans of kitties. What advice, as people start dropping some questions in here, what advice do you have for people that may still be in a place where I once was of, it's a cat, it'll be fine, right? Like, do I really need to put this kind of effort in? I mean, I think we talk about how our stress can impact our cats. What about our attitude? And what can we do to help people that may think, hey, you know what? Christmas or the holidays are stressful, Thanksgiving, stressful enough. I don't want to be worrying about what my cat's going through. What is some advice that you can give to those of us humans that may feel like this is going a little too far? Pam, let's start with you. Put you right on the spot.
First of all, I think most people who are attending this probably think of their cats as children, and so
I agree. Yes,
fall in that category. But what I thought of when you were saying that was the people that think they can just dump a bunch of dry kibble in their bowls and leave town for 2 or 3 days over the holidays. So it goes back to that metabolic stress. I don't think people realize the detrimental effect that has on cat health is feeding them inappropriate diets.
Yeah.
So, cats can be low maintenance, but they still require great nutrition in order to be the best health possible. So, it's worth it to have a pet sitter come over and feed them twice a day so they can eat proper food,
Well, and so that they can see someone too, and hopefully that pet sitter can play with them too, imagine the food, yes, but then you leave. Then you just leave them for 2 days. How stressful is that for a 2-year-old, right?
And it made me think of something else that I mentioned to you that I wanted to bring up. So let's say that, sorry, Adrienne, this is totally kind of off the subject of your question.
Go with it.
Okay, so let's say that they do get into something that they shouldn't be eating, and they eat too much of, some human food that's really high in fat or whatever, and they do throw up and they start to vomit or whatever. One of the things that I would say keep on hand this time of year is a homeopathic remedy called Arsenicum album. It's excellent for food-related sensitivities and upsets, which most of the time things are food-related with cats when it's vomiting and things like that. Like a food sensitivity or regurgitation if they're not eating too fast or whatever. for environmental toxin things. If they get into something that's not food related, that's causing, you know, some sort of a toxic exposure.
Like holiday plants.
Yeah, it's
Really
probably
nice.
more going to be the Nux vomica 30C remedy that I would keep on hand to treat those kind of digestive upsets. And homeopathy is super easy to use. I mean, you guys know I taught you how to do it. So,
Yeah.
you know, so get a couple of those remedies. Just, you know, they come in little tubes. You can buy them online. I carry them. Whole Foods, other places, you know, and they're $8 or $9. It's not expensive at all. But the beautiful thing is, guess what? You can use it too. So if you have some digestive upsets, it doesn't have to be just for your cat. These are great just to keep on hand in general.
That is
Oh, for sure.
really great
Yeah.
proactive advice. I mean, I think
Yeah.
And for hangovers,
For hangovers, Nux vomica, there you go. Actually, last week I threw my neck out. I threw my neck and back out, and I was in a lot of pain. And arnica is what I used, and that really helped my pain until I could get to the chiropractor. So yeah, great advice. So a lot of people here are talking about the laser pointer. What do you guys say about the laser pointer as a toy for your kitties? Start with Dr. Lindbear.
I have no problem with it. I use the laser pointer with my cat to get him running. There's some cats that love lasers, and if that gets them exercise, I feel like if it was really frustrating that they would stop. Cats are smart. They don't play with things that they don't want to play with. And so I don't have a problem with it. I will typically though end, and I'm sure everybody's heard this before, but I like to end the session with a treat or a toy hidden, and I lead my cat to it and I let him get it.
so
But
something tangible.
yeah, you want him to catch it at the end. But overall, I have one cat that couldn't care less about a laser, so it's not going to work with her, but another who loves to run around with it. And oftentimes I will even use it to simulate a bug going up the wall or down the wall. And for 5 minutes, he's just fixated on it and he's shivering and just in anticipation. Mental stimulation is important as well. And so it's not just that physical, it's that mental as well. And so when a cat is lying in wait to stalk its prey, that mental stimulation is really good. So I'm okay with lasers. Just be careful you don't shine it in their eyes. And if it gets them running up and down the house and up and down the stairs and whatever, do it.
Yeah, I like that you said you like to end it with something, because Dr. Marcy Koski taught us that. And it's so interesting because these are our Black Panthers and now our kittens too. We'll pull out the laser and they could be dead asleep all the way upstairs. And that one little click, they are right there. They will running, they will go crazy for it. But as soon as like I shut it off, they are just like,
You still need
and
something.
they for a long time, they will just like, what's going on? So when Dr. Koski taught us to end it with a toy, like a wand toy or something that they can actually physically catch, we noticed that it helps them calm down from the laser pointer, because I would think that they were like super stressed out or something. I'm like, well, I can't just play all day. Like I have to do something else.
There's two other things that I wanted to say, and one is that you can do scent enrichment as well. For people to take either catnip toys or toys with silvervine. At Disney Rue, we sell Cloud9 silvervine. But if you sprinkle a little on toys and actually hide those toys throughout the house, you can get cats foraging for scented toys. And that's another way to get them exercise.
I like that idea. And we talk about like hiding food around the house, but I like that idea for toys too, especially for those of us that are going back to work and then we're going to be gone during the day.
Right.
I know, cats are most active at dawn and dusk, but if during the day they, especially like younger cats, they still need some kind of activity,
Mhm.
then that's a great way to really get our cats like interested in something else and moving around and climbing things and whatnot during the day. I like that. What do you say, Dr. Koski?
Yeah, I agree. And I am on board with laser pointers as well. Um, I look at um, I look at play in terms of the having regular play sessions. I like to make sure that those cats are meeting those steps in the prey sequence. So first step is staring, and Dr. Bear, so right. Like the staring phase can be just so exciting for cats. And I think this is true, especially for senior kitties who may not be so active with the rest of the prey sequence, but that staring phase can really be mentally very engaging. So we can't discount the importance of that staring phase, even though it can be really boring for us. Like, come on, just get it. But the staring phase is really important. And then stalking and chasing, pouncing and grabbing, and then performing a kill bite. And cats will go back and forth along that prey sequence during a play session. So the laser pointer, great for the first couple steps in the prey sequence. But then, later on in the play session, I'll bring out a wand toy or a kicker toy so that they, some cats really just love having their whole body wrapped around something so that they can death kick it and bite it. So it really depends on the cat's personal preference, but laser pointers are great for wearing cats out if they like them. And then, just making sure that you're giving your cats things, like you were saying, scented toys to look for throughout the day, or just what is your cat going to do when you're out of the house? And thinking about enrichment a little bit differently, like we were talking about earlier, can help you get into that mindset of what are we going to do to make this day different for my cat, even if you're gone.
I love that. Okay, so what kind of questions do we have here? I was scrolling through and then I just went all the way back to the.
Okay, so Joan has a question. What can I do to help my cat from freaking out when people come over?
Dr. Marcy Koski.
I was say just jump in.
I was like, who's gonna do?
Okay, well, there's a short game and then there's a long game. So in the short term, if you really need to, like if your cat is freaked out with visitors, and you just want to keep your cat safe and comfortable and less stressed, you might want to have her, in a safe space that she is comfortable in. Maybe that's your bedroom. Give her a food puzzle to work on, or maybe turn on some soothing music made for cats, where she's going to be comfortable and she's not going to have to worry about the people who are coming into your house. So the short game is to keep her stress managed and give her a safe place in the moment. The long game is helping her by using counter conditioning and systematic desensitization to teach her that good things can happen when people come over. So maybe the first thing is you work on, the sound of somebody knocking at the door. Oh, and then you give her treats. Oh, that's not so bad. You keep doing that. And then maybe it's the doorbell and then we give you treats, or play. Maybe we're playing with you and you're so enjoying the play sequence that you don't care about the door. And then you have a friend come over and come in the door. Your cat gets treats or play, and then the friend leaves. So it's like you're increasing that level of exposure and pairing it with good things that the cat likes over a period of time, so that you're not just flooding your cat with people are in your space, bringing unfamiliar sounds and scents and all these things, and your cat's freaking out. So short game, long game.
I like that. Do you have anything to add to that, Dr. Lindbear?
I would say it really depends on the level of that stress, number one, and then how often that's happening. Is it a stressful cat that's living in a a household that has a lot of people coming in and out. In which case that's kind of escalated. That might even require some medical intervention. Certainly start out with more of the homeopathy and the CBD treats and things like that, but ultimately pharmaceuticals might be indicated. If it's an occasional, you have a guest over once a month or once every couple of months and your cat freaks out, I say let them, give them a safe space. They will run off, and I honor that, and I just make sure that they have comfortable, safe places where they can go chill. And it's not that big of a deal as long as you've got caves for them and hiding places for them, or tunnels, or a cozy bed in a closet. But it really depends on their level. If it affects them to the point that an owner is worried, then I would seek help for that, either with a behaviorist or with a veterinarian. Just like children, if you had a phobia and you had a particular phobia of flying, you would want that treated before you ever made somebody get into a plane. But
that's true. And go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Pam, this is something that you have been very helpful with our cats with as well. Yeah. So I know that you've got to piggyback on these as well, as far as what can be helpful.
Yeah. So in an energy evaluation, I would I would check to see if there's any environmental stressor. That can be a person, it can be a neighbor, it could be a pet, it could be a total stranger. I even had one client recently have an actual spiritual presence in the home that was stressing out the cat that I was able to clear. Yeah, that was yeah.
Totally woo-woo.
That's scary.
Really woo-woo. Yeah. So that was the first time I've ever had one of those. You never know what you're going to find when you start asking questions. What is it a person? Is it a pet? I recently had one that it was a neighbor, and this turns out I didn't know any backstory on this person, but the kitty was overnight so freaked out, and she's never been like that, and the owner contacted me and she's like, I don't know what's going on, but she's terrified and doesn't want to leave her bed, and is just whatever. And so when I was working on her, I detected there was a person, and so I asked the lady, I said, is there a person that's been in your home? She's like, oh no, not since COVID, I'm like, well, okay, so I'm finding something that's not internal, but something external. Maybe there's a person outside. And she goes, well, I have a neighbor behind, next door to me, and he is an alcoholic and he's a troublemaker and whatever. And so I tested to see if this person was the stressor, and sure enough, it was. And what turns out, she said, we've had to report this guy to the police. He's been acting like a peeping Tom.
Oh.
And her sliding glass door is right where this cat bed was sitting on an ottoman, right facing his patio. And I'm like, I have a feeling this man was peeping into your house. And she woke up and saw this person and just totally freaked out. So I never know what I'm going to find, but that was a first for me as well. But I get a piece of I just get a glimpse of the issue. And then when I relay it to the pet parent, they kind of put the pieces together, and we're like, whoa.
That's so crazy. Yeah, that's crazy and scary. And so talking about other beings that stress out our cats, I don't know if there's a question in the comments right now, but I know recently we've gotten a lot of questions about, we have so many beautiful, beautiful, beautiful followers that love cats, and they do everything that they can to help save, rescue, TNR, all these things. And currently, because the holiday season's coming up, we've got a lot of new fosters, and they already have their cats in their home, and now they're bringing in foster kittens or foster cats to help care for them. And the question that keeps coming to us is, is this going to affect my permanent cats, regularly or for the rest of their lives? Or, how do I go about doing that? What do you guys say to that? Raise your hand. I don't care. Whoever's got something.
Okay. So once again, I would just check to see, are the kittens resonating as a stressor to the resident cat? And if so, I just do energy work to clear the kittens as a stressor. And it's amazing to see the change within 12 to 24 hours. Or like suddenly the cat's like, oh, they're no big deal. And their behavior
And
totally
then behavioral wise, what do you say, Dr. Koski?
I would say, and I understand where people are coming from in terms of wanting to help and helping kittens, and that's so wonderful. But before you decide to be a foster, really look at your cat and just say, is this something that my cat is going to be able to deal with? Because I mean, most people know whether their cat can be around other animals and not be stressed out versus not.
Right.
And I've had a number of clients who contact me for help because they already have a stressed cat, but then they brought home fosters, and that just tipped things way over the edge. And it's hard. It's hard on cats because they can smell everything that's going on. They can hear everything that's going on, and to not be able to interact and find out what's behind that door, that can be really stressful.
Yeah. Good. That's what we said. Because even if you keep them separate, they can smell that, and that's still going to stress them out, maybe even more, like you said, because they can't see it and they can't explore it. They don't know what's happening. And if you do introduce them, then that's opens up a whole other world of stressors as well. So
Absolutely.
We're not against fostering. We're just for checking and making sure that your cat is the type of cat that will be okay when, if bringing in fosters.
Yeah.
Dr. Bear, were you going to add something?
No, I just think it depends on the cat. And like we foster a lot. My cats are so used to it. I think it may be a little bit of a stress, but it doesn't throw them over the edge or anything. But that's because we've been doing it so often. They're so used to it. I think if you had an adult cat that you've never fostered before, and you all of a sudden bring in a bunch of kittens, that wouldn't be appropriate.
Okay, here's a question. This comes from Kathy Maynard. Hey, Kathy, I love you. And we've got a couple questions about this as far as bullying and aggression. And this is going to be a heartbreaking one. Kathy said, I have a question about an aggressive cat. He is 16. He goes in and out at will. She lives in the country. He has always been a fierce hunter. She also has an 18-year-old female that has always been indoors. She's also declawed and is very peaceful. Within the last 6 months, the indoor-outdoor boy has been badly attacking her 3 to 4 times. In fact, he literally beat the urine out of her. That sounds horrifying. It's like he's indoor hunting. He also several days ago randomly attacked my dog. Any ideas? This sounds like a particularly tough situation, but I see that there's a couple other questions about bullying and aggressive cats as well. Dr. Lynn Bear.
I would say that these cats need to be looked at medically first before we address any behavioral issue whatsoever. These cats, any behavior that suddenly starts at this age is a clear red flag, in my opinion, to say something's wrong.
Yep.
If they had been doing it their whole life, it would be one thing, but no. And we're talking about older cats here. One of the things.
Smaller stress buckets.
Huh?
With smaller stress buckets.
Well, and arthritis and pain and medical issues. And
right.
So oftentimes, I'm an anti-declaw vet, never done one in my career. It's a big problem. And any cat that I examine, first thing I ask, your cat declawed. I also get into family dynamics with each of my patients. And I will typically find that cats that are declawed are bullied a lot because they're in pain, they're cranky, it's not that they know that they're declawed or that they don't have any defenses, they don't know that at all. but they may be dealing with chronic pain. And anybody who has felt chronic pain is typically not a really super happy person.
Right.
And so I would check out both of these cats, the one that's indoors and older and is declawed, and is that cat dealing with pain and now I'm more of a victim, and I'm, I don't want that other cat near me. So the minute that other cat comes in, and then that sets off the outdoor cat. Or is there something going on with this cat that's outdoors that's now become more aggressive to the dog and to the other cat? I would put behavior issue much lower than I would a medical issue.
I agree with that. Whenever
Calling
there's a
and checking.
sudden change in behavior, whether it's going outside the box or whether it's, aggressiveness, I always say, and that's why we advocate for, the wellness visits. We want to give our
Regular.
cats regular checkups after the age of 12, 10 to 12, we say do it twice yearly, because it can change. Things
So
can
quickly.
change so quickly when our cats are older. So yeah, I definitely recommend.
Pam and Dr. Koski, let's say that we rule out any acute medical conditions. This aggression issue is obviously a common one. Do you have anything to add to ideas?
Yeah. Okay. So true story this week, I talked to a gal who called, who has a cat that suddenly started this aggressive stalking behavior towards the owner.
Oh,
And she's describing, all of a sudden she is like angry and she's aggressive and she's lashing out and she acts like she's going to attack her. And the more she talked about it, I had little bells ringing on my head. And when she finally stopped, I said, when was the last time your cat had a rabies vaccine? And she said, oh, it was July. And this behavior started in August. Yeah. And I said, that is your problem. You are watching the characteristics of the rabies virus that, or the energetics of that virus being displayed in the behavior of your cat. And
I had one of those.
Documented by Dr. Richard Pitcairn. He wrote an article about this. He's seeing the actual expression of these vaccines, these viruses and vaccines manifest in behavior problems and physical problems in pets that are over-vaccinated. And it turns out the cat had been vaccinated several times, over the years for rabies, and just recently had been revaccinated again. And this is classic. I mean, I even worked with you guys with Pooh Bear, and I have worked with several clients whose cats started to exhibit this aggressive, mean. It's like something switched on in their brain, and all of a sudden they go from nice, sweet, loving kitty to, who is this cat that's living in my home? I don't recognize you anymore. And so I said, you've got to detox this vaccine, and your cat will come back. Yeah, it's a serious thing, but that description right there is like classic rabies vaccine issue to me.
And Dr. Marcy Koski.
Yeah, so bullying and cats not getting along is something that I deal with a lot. And I can't say, because I don't know the particulars of this person's issues, but a lot of times when I'm working with, I would say, first of all, to this particular person's issues, absolutely a medical evaluation is needed, but in the meantime, keep the cats separated just so that everybody is safe. Safety is really important for not only physical health, but also peace of mind as well. And of course, if our cats if they're stressed about, oh my God, am I going to be attacked while I'm taking a nap? I mean, that's not very good. So, you want to keep everybody safe is the first thing. This is a slightly unusual case because I do feel like there's, a medical evaluation is necessary, but you also have a cat who's indoor, outdoor. You have cats that are seniors. And what I'm usually working with is people who have younger cats, or maybe a younger cat and an older cat who are indoor cats. And, you want to try to build positive associations between those cats to remedy bullying. You want to have multiple resource locations throughout your home so that the cats aren't forced to use one area for eating or one area for toileting or one area for napping. So you need to have multiple resources throughout your home so that each cat's space has access to those resources. They don't need to travel through another cat's space to get to the litter box. You also want to make sure that those predatory needs are taken care of. So play is extremely, extremely important when cats are not getting along. That can really go a long way because, you know, you're providing an energy outlet, a way to meet those predatory instincts. You can build confidence. You can relieve stress. So play, super important. And there are other things you can do with bullying, but I would say, you know, minimizing resource competition, providing an outlet for energy and play is really important. Vertical space options so cats can get out of each other's hair or fur is also good. So it's tough. It's a tough issue. It's a really tough issue.
Yeah,
tough.
multiple cats.
Well, and
that
it
can
can
always-
cause a lot of household stress for everybody.
Yeah, sometimes, yes. So Gloria said, my daughter found a
Diane.
kitten. My daughter found a kitten in a flower pot. He was probably 4 or 5 weeks. He slept with his paw in her hand every night for the past 12 years. They were inseparable. My daughter passed away a few months ago. He and I are having a tough time. He has finally joined me in bed, and he gets as close as possible and places his paw over my wrist. Any suggestions on how I can help him grieve?
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. You know, it takes time. Just like we grieve, I think our animals grieve too. And the fact that this cat has made progress is wonderful. I would say just keep going, you know, do what you're doing. It takes time.
Yeah, we've found that it's helpful to kind of grieve together with your cat, even. But Dr. Bear, would you say that extra playtime is helpful in the grieving process?
Absolutely. I mean, getting this cat's mind off of
Will help both of them.
It would. I mean, certainly playing interactive play, that bond. I mean, it's so much fun. It brightens up my day. I'm tired and I don't want to do it, and then I start and I'm like, oh, this is, you know. Then I sit back and chill and I'm laughing and I'm enjoying it. So the bond that it builds is really pretty strong. I would say definitely that. You know, I don't know if it's too late or not, but if she has any clothing or things with the scent on it, maybe having some of the items, her daughter's items around would be very helpful. And to just keep going. You know, that cat's going to turn around. She's already made enough progress that if the cat's sleeping with her, I think that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
That is. I just now looked at the clock and I know that we're going.
Oh, we are going.
bit
We're going.
over
Wow,
what we-
so many of you guys have stuck with us. We saw 61 people
love
on
you
here.
guys.
Thank you guys so much
They're-
for sticking
they're
with us.
waiting.
But you're waiting for the giveaway, of course. So, first of all, thank you guys, all like 250 of you that entered to win the biggest Catastic extravaganza giveaway. That big long word. The biggest
It's
giveaway of
huge.
2020. We have been talking about it all the time because we're very excited about it. These 3 lovely women have donated so much of so many things to this giveaway. Plus, through their contacts, they other people, other companies have come in. Weruva has come in. Pam, forgive me. What's the name of the cat bed? Because I want to give a shout out
The
to them.
gumdrop.
Yeah, Armor Cat.
Armor Cat. That's right.
Yeah, and actually carry their line because they're amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
so big shout out to
cool.
Armor Cat. That's like the grand prize. This bed is like absolutely amazing. You guys saw it when you signed in to sign up. And Dr. Lynn Bear gave away so many toys. Dr. Marcy Koski and Pam are giving away free consults, or Dr. Koski is giving away free consults. Pam is giving away gift certificates to anything that you need from her. And then
We've got
Weruva.
Desi and we've got the one toys coming, the buzzer,
Yeah.
the crinkle carpet. I'm
We-
so excited about those.
To all 3 winners, we're donating a bottle of our Cat Calm, which is an all natural calming formula for cats, and a bag of our Minnows Munchies treats, which are our cat's absolute favorite treat, single ingredient treats. CBD Dog Health or CBD Cat Health has donated a bottle for each one of the winners of their CBD calming formula for cats. Ruruva has donated a massive amount of food, so every winner is getting a lot of great
Pouches
food
and cans
for your kitties. So we took all the winners, we put them into this thing. It's a wheel, and you spin it, and it just picks it for you, because we couldn't put 250 names in a bowl.
That would be difficult.
That would be difficult. So we have the winners. We have the winners, and we are going to announce them, or these 3 lovely ladies are going to announce them right now, starting with the 3rd place winner or first winner of the day.
First winner of the day.
First winner of the day goes to
Lynn.
Dr. Lynn. Yeah, Lynn Bear is going to announce it, right?
Number 1 winner.
You have the first winner. Yes.
I said 3rd winner. So, starts with a K, ends in an H. Sir Kelly Halifax.
Woo woo, Kelly! Congratulations. So what we're gonna do is, if you guys are watching this, and I hope you are, and if you're a friend of Kelly's and she's not watching this, tag her in it, because we just need your address in order to send out the prizes. Second winner is going to be announced by the beautiful Dr. Marzikowski.
Okay, this person has an animal in their name, and it's a bird. It's one of my favorite birds.
Birdie friend.
They're very clever birds. They like sparkly things. Do we have Angela Crow listening?
I did see her here. She asked a question earlier. Woo,
Oh,
woo,
yay!
Angela. Congratulations, Angela. Be sure to send us your address again, so that we can send out the prize. And the grand prize of the Catastic Extravaganza giveaway of 2020 goes to Pam Roussel,
Jen Solari.
Jen Solari. You know why we gave you her name? Because we didn't know how to pronounce it. And we were like, I bet Pam does. Oh, yay. Congratulations, Jen, Angela, and Kelly, for being the big winners of the massive giveaway. Everybody, you guys are all so sweet. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Oh,
Congratulations.
I love it.
So send us your addresses, PM us, DM us, whatever, private message us with your shipping address of where you want it sent, and we will send that all out this week. Guys, you're going to be
Once
really
we
excited.
find boxes big enough.
Once we find boxes big enough. Yes. For this
And
month.
then don't forget, there's a special coupon code for everybody else.
Thank you. That's
Oh
when I
my
lost
God,
it
Pam.
earlier when I was talking. I was like, did I set up that?
Everybody's a winner.
Yes. Pam, tell us about it.
So, okay, so this is so cool. And I want to thank Dr. Bear, and I want to thank you guys for participating in this part. So even if you weren't a winner, and even if you are a winner, we have put together a special coupon code so you can go shop in all of our online stores and get 10% off with the coupon code. Say it, Adrienne. Cats 10.
She said, what is it?
Cats.
Cat 10.
Cats 10.
1 cat or 2 cat? Is that 1 cat or 2 cat?
It's 2.
Oh.
Cats 10. I
Yeah.
remember actually seeing this, but I couldn't remember if it was 1 or 2. Cats 10. Cats 10. Cats 10.
Okay. And I'm going to have to go make sure that I set that up correctly.
Angela's
on our
here. She
website,
said,
too.
I'm so happy. I'm crying.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Yay.
You
Yes.
can shop in any of our stores between now and December 15th and get 10% off by using that coupon code CATS10, and it's C lowercase ATS 10. So capital C lowercase ATS 10.
Number
Cats 10.
10.
Lindsay Robbins just dropped it in here. Does
Thank you.
does the capitalization matter?
Oh, it
No.
doesn't? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't on ours.
Because she's got all caps 10. Cats plural 10.
Cats
10.
Cats. Try it again.
Cats 10. Cats 10. Cats 10. Oh my God. God,
right,
you guys,
guys, so-
everybody's a winner. Go shopping, go have fun. Huge gratitude. Dr. Marcy Koski, Pam Roussel, Dr. Lambert. I just can't tell you how exciting this is. And I think we're going to have to do it again sometime.
Yes, yeah. We were just talking about how we might just do this every quarter because there's always a subject that we need to talk about. There's always a subject that we've dealt with that we need to share with you guys.
And
all
you guys are just
beautiful cat parents.
invaluable resources.
And you guys are, the most invaluable resources. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for the giveaway. Thank you for all your donations. Thank you for all of your insight and help. And we will see everybody else at what time?
We're going
At
to see
3, we'll see all of our VIPs.
We'll see our VIPs at 3.
And at 4:30, we'll be live for our podcast on YouTube. And then at 6 p.m., we'll be live here on Facebook for our cat tip
Hey,
review.
yeah, real quick before we sign off, for anybody that's new, let's go around the table, around the horn, as they say, and let people know where they can find you. Best way to
yes.
find you, Dr. Marcy Koski.
You can find me at felinebehaviorsolutions.com. That's felinebehaviorsolutions.com. Or you can send me an email at hello@felinebehaviorsolutions.com.
Okay. And Dr. Lambert?
It is Desiroo, DEZIROO.com. And you can get me at info@desiroo.com.
Desiroo, DEZIROO. And Pam?
It's perfectlyholistic.com. That's PURR, perfectlyholistic.com. And our shop is actually shop.perfectlyholistic.com. You can reach me at pam@perfectlyholistic.com.
And you can find all of them right here on Facebook as well.
Yes,
We
you guys.
love you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for
ladies.
joining us. Thank you, ladies, for being
Yes.
so amazing and
Mwah.
generous.
Have a
and
happy Sunday.
beautiful.
All right. Love you guys.
We'll see you
Thank
guys soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Mwah.